How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another Red Dead Redemption 2 video. My name is SaintsFan, and today I want to talk about this really awesome article / interview that Vulture did on Red Dead Redemption 2. They actually interviewed or got to talk with the CEOs of Rockstar, Dan Houser, and I think his brother Sam Houser. I'll leave a link to the article in the description. Fair warning, though, it does kind of spoil a little bit of the story about halfway through, and I'm not going to be talking about any of the spoilery parts in this video, so if you don't want spoilers, then you're good, but just warning, if you do go ahead and read it, it's kind of cool. I actually sort of stopped about midway through, so I didn't get any spoilers, because I'm still trying to avoid all the spoilers I can. But anyway, they did talk about the making of Red Dead 2, and they talked about some specifics regarding like story length and what they did to sort of get everything done. And it's absolutely crazy. And that's why I say it's probably the biggest game of all time, or it's definitely up there. I don't know of many other AAA games that can say it's done as much as what Rockstar's done with Red Dead Redemption 2. So the first thing I want to start out with is not actually necessarily about the game itself, but it was something that I've seen a lot of people, a lot of articles popped up over the last like 24 hours. And that's this one stat that for whatever reason, Rockstar seemed to think was a good thing to promote, but there's been a lot of hate regarding this. But in the article, Dan Houser mentions that at some points during them working on Red Dead 2, they, like, all the employees were working 100-hour weeks, which is insane. Like, if you do the math, I think that comes out to like 7 days a week, about 14, 15 hours a day, which is crazy. And if you're doing that, you know, weeks on end, like that's an insane amount of work. And I know there's like a lot of other things that go into it. Like, I want to say some of the main complaints was that, you know, people weren't getting paid enough, and I don't know. I'm not going to talk too much about that. You can look into it. There's a million articles, but it's crazy to think that, you know, we sort of don't think about that, right? When we play these games, and I'm sure Red Dead 2, I mean, it looks like it's going to be one of the biggest games of all time. Looks like it might be one of the best or better games of all time. And you sort of don't think about the people behind it, I guess. And I don't know. I just wanted to throw that out there before we got into the rest of this video. You guys can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, but it's just it's something to maybe think about going forward. The main points, let's talk about Red Dead Redemption 2, the actual game, ignoring all the other stuff. This game actually might be one of the longer games of all time. If you compare it, the main story, to some other games, it's actually a lot longer. So, Red Dead Redemption 2's story, the main story, is 60 hours long. And I'm assuming that's if you just go all the way through it. We all know that's not how a lot of us work. We all want to do side missions, we want to explore and stuff, so obviously it's going to take way longer. But 60 hours for that main story, that's what it's going to take. And to put that into perspective, comparing it to some other games, the original Red Dead Redemption 1's main story was about 20 hours. GTA 5's main story is about 30 hours. And then The Witcher 3, probably one of the biggest games in recent memory, that main story is about 50 hours. So Red Dead Redemption 2 beats all of those games. That's insane. Some other interesting tidbits regarding the story. The final script for the main story was about 2,000 pages, but he said in the interview or in the article that if they were to include all of the side missions and additional dialogue and even stack the pages, the pile would probably be about 8 feet high. That's crazy. Even some of the NPCs had 80-page scripts. So the little details you already know are going to be there, and they're going to be awesome. The finished game includes 300,000 animations, 500,000 lines of dialogue, and many more lines of code. That is fantastic news for people who like to replay games, because you can replay this game and not see stuff you've seen before. And that's what's going to be awesome about this game. It also required 2,200 days of motion capture work, which I believe is around 6 years, and it required 1,200 actors, 700 of them with dialogue. So one thing they made a point about was that you're not going to see a similar face. Like, you're not going to see duplicate faces. Everyone will look unique, and 700 actors, NPCs having unique dialogue. I mean, if you go back and play a game like Skyrim, you could tell they only used 7 people to record everyone's dialogue because 20 people all sound exactly the same. But this game is not going to have that problem. One thing, because Rockstar, I guess, they're the king of sarcastic humor, they said they might do another game if this one does well, and we think they have interesting things to say, as if this one isn't going to do well. I mean, I know it's not going to be as popular as GTA 5, but this game, I think, is going to sell really well, and I think it's going to make them a lot of money. Another thing, going to the online part, they said that right now, because they've mainly completed the story mode, their main focus is actually on the multiplayer mode, which they are still writing scenes for and working on as DLC as the game is starting to release. Another thing, and I mentioned this in one of my other Red Dead Redemption videos, but just to reiterate, the game has 192 interactive mission scores. So the music that you hear is actually interactive because the music will change depending on your morality. If you have good morality, you'll hear different music versus bad morality. And that's, again, another amazing thing for replaying the game. Rewinding a little bit, just to put some of these numbers into perspective for you guys, I mentioned 500,000 lines of dialogue. Skyrim only had 60,000 lines of dialogue. GTA 5 only had 160,000 lines of dialogue. And The Witcher 3 only had about 70,000 lines of dialogue. So, like I said, this game is just on another level. And then to end, one of the final things Dan mentioned in the article was that the result of all of their labor, he said, is this seamless, natural feeling experience in a world that appears real, an interactive homage to the American rural experience. It's a vast four-dimensional mosaic in which the fourth dimension is time, in which the world unfolds around you dependent on what you do. So what do you guys think? Do you think that this game will be one of the biggest games and one of the best games of all time? It's certainly sounding like it, and I'm super excited. I know we have about a week left, 10-ish days until the game releases. So as we wind down, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you all for watching. Please drop the video a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe for more awesome Red Dead Redemption 2 content. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one.